Hey, hopefully this is working. It's going to be a very short video or live. Essentially, every month I do a summary of what has happened the month prior, what is coming in the month, and this time, like usual, it was quite long. So I thought that it would be good for me to make a short video to accompany that post so that you can watch this or listen to this as you read through it, and also so that everyone has a bit of an idea what what is going to happen. So forgive me, I wanted to do it live so that I don't do this like start stop thing, and I just like say it and get it done and it's out there essentially. So hey everybody, I will do like a proper live after this, but this is literally just so that I can share what's coming up this month. First of all, as always, welcome to everyone, both new people and existing members. You are incredible and I'm so glad that you are here. If you are a new member, I will say three things. First thing is that I have created a welcome pack that you can find in the Ko-fi shop, and that will give you more information to get yourself familiar with the membership. Second thing is that the membership has two parts of it. One part is on Ko-fi, and that's what you're seeing here, and that's here. And that's basically where I put the videos and the Zoom sessions that we do and the doses of inspiration, art challenges, references, all of that stuff is on Ko-fi. The other part of it, which is also one of my favorite parts, is my Discord, which you get access to as a member. And on there, that's where we chat day to day, where we share our art and where you can engage and chat and get to know all the other members. So that is also one of the perks and one of the highlights. So there's those kind of two areas. But with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I will answer. I will leave everything linked down below. And if you're watching this on Ko-fi, then it's literally down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you'll have to click on the link to get them. But anyway, this month, February, good morning everybody, or good afternoon for me. But yeah, for February, I have shared some dates for the diary, and essentially I'm going to be doing one live stream in the morning to kind of catch the people who are in Asia and Australia, and then a live stream that same day on the 13th of February in the evening, and then I'll do another Zoom session on Thursday the 26th. And I'll be sharing the links for that later on a separate post. I will be sending out the Happy Mail this month as well, so you will receive it. My hope is in February, but honestly with Royal Mail, I don't know if it's in February or if it will leak into March, but I'm going to send them out this month. Then one of the things that I wanted to try that I am looking forward to is like art check-ins. A friend of mine and I have basically been doing weekly check-ins, although I haven't done it this week because they're on holiday, but we've been doing weekly check-ins where we basically drop a message saying like, what have you done for your creativity this week? And it's been really nice because every week I get a reminder, a gentle nudge, a gentle bit of inspiration to kind of think about what am I going to do or what have I done. And likewise, I'm inspired by what they're doing. They're inspired by what I'm doing. And it's just nice to kind of have that little bit of a reminder. You know, sometimes I don't even think about the fact that I haven't done anything creative that week until it's time for me to kind of send her that message, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything yet. So my hope is that it will be like motivation, like gentle inspiration. And whether you create something or don't create something, the whole point of it is kind of like thinking about your creative practice. So sometimes that won't be in the form of creating a painting or a drawing. Sometimes that might be in the form of going on a walk or listening to a song that you really enjoy, or like swatching out your colors. So that's what I'm hoping will come of it. And each week I will put out a post, and you can feel free to write there and say, you know, to just check in essentially. And everyone who checks in, whether you created or didn't create, I'm going to do a little draw at the end of the month and give you something special for, like, you know, persevering and showing up whether you created or didn't create. So we'll try it out and see how that goes this month, and then take it from there. Then, okay, in terms of January recaps, there was a lot. So one of the things that I really enjoyed this month was doing the master studies, but also painting fruit. It's 2 topics that we've done before in the membership that I found really inspiring and merged them together for January. And it's funny because January has been grey and, you know, January, but that being said, I have still felt very creative. I'm going to be talking about that a little later. And I think that has been in part because I've merged these 2 topics that I'm really inspired by, and you guys have taken it on board, and I've just loved all the artwork that you've been creating with it as well. So it's been really nice from that side of things. So there are 3 Zoom replays. The first 2 are master study replays. The third one is a studio Zoom session where everyone was doing their own projects, and we recorded the first half and then didn't record the last half so that everybody can relax a little bit more. Then some of the artwork that we created in those sessions are here. This is the amazing artwork by members, and this is what I mean. I was very much blown away by all the beautiful art that has been created. So Betty created this, and then we also have this beautiful series of fruits and flowers by Plancisca. Then as we scroll down, we have this lovely art by Sonia O Art. And the thing that I love about this as well is that despite the fact that we all tend to paint different subjects and use different mediums and whatever, you can kind of see the artistic voice. And so I feel like if you gave me these paintings and you were like, guess who painted them, I would be able to tell that it was Sonia. But yeah, really lovely paintings. Then Monxis created these stunning paintings, and what has been really great to see is that actually she's like new to gouache, which you would never guess by her paintings, and it's been so lovely seeing her embrace gouache and all the paintings that she's been creating thus far. It's been really inspiring. Then April also created these really lovely paintings, and April likes using inappropriate watercolor paper for watercolor, if that makes sense, and it just means that all her paintings have this extra bit of character, which is really nice. And then these are the pieces that I also created from that session that I just really enjoyed. Then some of the other things that I have done, and I've linked everything so that you can find it more easily, is Omar, Win and I, and if you don't know Omar, she is an incredible artist and illustrator on YouTube and on Patreon, and on, like, she has her own website. We got together and we essentially did a video where we painted fruits in our own ways. So the painting on the left is Omar's, the painting on the right is mine. And in that session, not only are we painting in real time, but we're also talking through our creative practice, the things that we're enjoying, how to keep up a sketchbook habit, learning gouache techniques, just everything in, it's I think 30 to 40 minutes, and it's just it was really fun. It was actually the second video that we recorded because the first one got corrupted, but we had such a good time that we just did it again on a separate day. So the replay, or the actual video for that, is this link up here. And then I also created a separate video, which was a time lapse, where I share the process of creating these paintings here from one of our Zoom sessions, our first Zoom session. Then I also did 3 live streams, and these are available to everyone who's on YouTube as well. So one was a New Year art haul, which was massive. I technically didn't call it that, but I guess it is a really big art haul, inspired by some of the things that I want to explore in the Happy Meal tier. Then I did another live stream sharing the Roman Schmall Essentials palette, and in it, let me find it. I'll show you in a second, like towards the end, because in it I basically painted 2 boats. And then the last one was the Sennelier live stream, where I was testing out or giving my first impressions of the new Gouache, which was released in 2025. Yes, I haven't used it since that live stream, so there's still room for me to like try it out and experiencing it and see how it goes. But I thought that I would absolutely love it, and it hasn't been love at first sight, so we'll see how it goes with time. Then I also wanted to share a few other replays, and those are the gouache landscapes, or the little landscapes that we did in December technically, but I know quite a few of you are still doing it. And in it we basically created these little landscapes and use them to explore gouache. So in each video I kind of talk through different aspects of either painting a landscape or painting with gouache, talking about things like depth in this one and like this one. I've just really thoroughly enjoyed this series, and as you can see I've done like 16 of these cute little paintings. So I've shared the videos here. It is 7 videos, of which most of them are real-time process videos, and then the final one is like time lapses of the videos that I've done, as well as some landscapes that I didn't share, so it's extra special. So I'm really excited about this series, and it's so funny because I did this series because you asked for it, and you basically said like you wanted to spend more time with gouache and with landscapes, and there were just a lot of questions about gouache, and so I thought that it would be nice for us to kind of go through it and do it together. And at the time that I started it, I was very much enjoying watercolor. So I only started painting with gouache, to be honest, again, because you had asked. And since then, I haven't been able to stop painting with gouache, because it's almost like every time I paint with gouache, I forget how much I enjoy watercolor. And every time I paint with watercolor, I forget how much I enjoy gouache. So since then, I've been painting with gouache. But I'm going to try and be a bit more balanced and paint with both, because I have an art retreat coming up, and that is going to be about both mediums. So I'm really excited about that. So this is what I mean by like it was a long post, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed writing it. But to go along with the Little Landscapes series, I also created a dose of inspiration, which are kind of like art challenges. And in this one, it felt extra special because I basically shared all the reference photos that I used for the Little Landscape series, but I also shared the artwork that I created based on that. And I think it's good to kind of see, or from the feedback that I've received, it's been helpful for people to see how I change the references, like the things that I stick with and the things that I don't. And some people kind of felt like it gives you a bit of permission to not stick to the reference 100%. And it also helps you see some of the decisions that I make when it comes to things like color or composition. And so that was a really fun little landscapes, like little dose of inspiration to put together. So that's available there. And then these are the recaps. So these posts, like I said, I make them every month, and they're open to everyone every month, so that you can see what's coming up in the membership and what has already come. And if you're curious to see the past ones, then I've linked them here as well. I think I normally try to do the past 6 months, and then after that I stop doing them. But yeah, so the past 7 months I think are here. And you can see, like, for example, if you wanted to do the watercolor challenge that we did together, then you should check out the July 2025 recap, because that has all 10 watercolor videos that we did for that challenge. That was, again, a lot of fun. And one of those videos is this one, which is a real-time painting process of this painting. Then, okay, art life. So I always like try to have a bit of an art life or life update as well, just in case you're curious. And this one, okay, yeah, so this one is basically about the fact that at the beginning, towards the end of last year, I had this idea where I wanted to try and keep track of the artwork that I was creating, just so that I had like a rough idea. I feel like towards the end of the year, I'm seeing all these videos where people are sharing all the art that they've created, and I genuinely had no idea how much I've created or how little I've created or what I've used or anything like that. Like, I have rough memories of some of the paintings that I've created, but if you told me, like asked me to make a ballpark figure, I have no idea. I just remember like painting boats. I remember painting in Devon and Cornwall and Dorset, and I don't really remember anything else. So I thought it would be helpful to try and track or keep a rough idea, an observing eye on the artwork that I'm creating. And I came up with 3 methods, not because I think all 3 are necessary, but because I didn't know which one I would stick with. And so I thought I would start with 3, and then hopefully one will survive the year. And those 3 methods were: 1, pen and paper in my diary, just making one-liner on each painting that I create. It was 2, an online form that I've created, so anytime that I create, I can just like, I can go on my phone and quickly like write it in, and if I want, I can upload a picture. And 3 was I actually paid for a service where basically I pay to get printed, like to get my photos printed. So I just upload it to the app, and each month they send me the photos that I've uploaded. And I thought pen and paper would be the easiest way for me, but oddly enough, the best way thus far for me has been uploading it to the app. So like a picture a day of the artwork that I've created, followed by the online form, especially because as long as I do one of those, I can catch up on the other. And yeah, I don't know, I haven't really been doing the pen and paper one much, but we'll see. It may change month to month. I'm completely fine with that, but I just thought that I would share how that's going. This is some of the artwork that I created during the Sennelier live stream that I was talking about earlier, comparing La Gouache. And a bit of a summary on the artwork that I've created thus far based on the tracking that I did. So I created 33 paintings, which to me was wild. I didn't realize it was that many, but it was. 6 of them were watercolor, 27 were gouache. As I've told you, I'm like really loving gouache at the moment. 9 of them were just for me, which feels great because usually it's like 0. I'm not gonna lie. Usually every painting I do, I feel like I have to record it, or it has to be there has to be some sort of purpose for it. And I've always wanted to get better at carving out some me art time that isn't recorded or isn't for anything else, isn't practical, and I haven't been that good at doing it. But this year, and by this year I mean January, I've been okay. So I've done 9 of those pieces. I'll share some of them with you in a second. And then I also looked at the brands that I was using. So I used Shinhan 21 times. It's actually wild. Shinhan 21 times, Winsor & Newton gouache 13 times, and Roman Schmoll watercolors 6 times. So basically every watercolor painting that I did. Part of me like feels like I did more watercolor, but apparently it's that. So it's not going to be 100%, but at least, you know, it's better than having absolutely no idea. Sketchbooks wise, the sketchbook that I used the most was the Moleskine watercolor album sketchbook. It's not a sketchbook that I necessarily recommend, but it's one that I have over 100 sketchbooks, and it's been my aim for the past 2 years to make my way through them, and I have been making my way through them quite quickly, but I hadn't really made way through this one. So I am now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm also enjoying the size of it because it's a lot bigger than I'm used to working in, and it's been quite enjoyable. The reason that I don't always recommend it is that there's a big, for me, discrepancy in the quality of the Moleskine sketchbooks depending on where it's made. And so for me, it's just easier to not buy it again, basically, until they figure that out. Then, okay, favorites wise, I couldn't pick favorites. I really did enjoy a lot of my art. I enjoyed the fruit series, the master studies that I've been doing. I also enjoyed like this painting, all the paintings that I did when I went to the Jackson's plein air day. This was my watercolor one, and then I also created a gouache view of St. Paul's and a skate park in gouache as well. Then I think that is pretty much it. Like, is it? No, it's not. This is what I mean by, it was so long that I was like, maybe I should make a video sharing some of this. But this is some of the artwork that I've created this past month that I've really enjoyed. And also a big part of the reason that I was able to create so much is because of the Zoom sessions that we've been doing, because it just gives me, in my head, mental permission to just set aside time to create art. And I think in the first session that we did, I created 6 paintings, in the second 3, and in the third 2. So, you know, it really, and then afterwards I just wanted to keep painting, so it keeps me motivated. And then I also wanted to share, like I said, what's been inspiring me at the moment, and that has been fruits as well as master studies. And I share some links and resources that you can check out as well if you want to find more master studies and more references for your own art. So that is what I've shared. The only thing that I wanted to say quickly as well is that if you are a member, you can always check out, this is still Ko-fi, but it's in the shop. Even if you're not a member and you click like access for all, for example, you can see all the different resources that you have access to, even though you're not a member. If you are a member, you can click all or members only, but then you can also see, I've just I spent all night updating it yesterday, so it's up to date as of now, and then I update it every 6 weeks or so. So you can see the master studies replay that we did, live streams, the 2025 recap, and just like, the little landscape series. So all the different videos that I've created, blog posts that I've created, you can access them all in the Ko-fi shop. If they're super brand new, then check out the post tab instead. And you can also use like the search bar up here, or if you want, you can select the filters. So if you click art process, for example, then you can see that, or art vlog, and you can see the vlogs, so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense. I wanted to quickly show you one more thing and that's some of the art that I've been creating, just in case that is helpful, inspiring, and it's always nice to have a recap, isn't it? So let me make my face smaller. I'm sorry I'm not talking much chat wise. I will do a live stream soon, but I feel like, I can't tell if it's a bit wonky, but this is the Moleskine sketchbook that I told you I've been using. My aim being literally just to finish it, which is always a good motivator. And this is some of the artwork that I've created, and it's a lot bigger than I'm used to, especially like these pages, they're A4. But these are from the Zoom sessions that we did. These 2 I did just for myself. Again, inspired by the master studies. This I painted from life, and it's so funny because this is the first painting that I did with Omar that the footage got corrupted, and then I have the second, and this is the second one that I did, and I put it up to a poll because I was kind of curious to know what people would prefer. And for me, this one is my favorite, so I thought hands down it would win, because the I don't know, I kind of feel like the contrast is better here, but surprisingly, by a landslide, this one is the one that won. Maybe it's the texture. Some people said they really like the composition as well. I even showed my mum, and she was like, oh no, she likes this one more, because this one, she said this one looks like it's a painting and this one looks more real. But this is essentially what I created there from life, and I find painting from life always brings its own challenges, but I was inspired by that session with Omar, and so I started painting from life again, and this one is one of my favorites. And it's so funny because when I saw the net, I really didn't know how I was going to paint it, and in fact I considered just leaving it out altogether and just focusing on the oranges, and I don't know what possessed me to try it, but I'm so glad that I did, because I just love the way it looks. And it's funny because it's relatively simple to create, but it looks more complicated, so that was really cool to do. And then this is also like, so these three were for me. Maybe I did do more than three for myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, for me. This this one you see the process of with Omar. Then this I created again from life during an impromptu FaceTime with members, kindly facilitated by Durwood and Marlene. And then this was just for me as well, inspired by a Renoir painting. Now here we get to the Sennelier paintings that I did. So I swatched out the colors first, and then I did this painting. And when I look at it, I'm still like, I like the painting, but I still don't really like the gouache, the look of it. To me, it's a lot more muted. Some people have said that they actually like that it's more muted, and it kind of has this relaxing, calm element to it that bright colors don't always do. So I can appreciate that side of things. A few other people have said it looks more like oils than gouache, and so they like that as well. So it's definitely got mixed feedback. For me, it's still not my favorite gouache, but who knows, maybe with time that will change. And I was so, let's say, perplexed by the fact that I wasn't in love with this gouache, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, that I did this during the live stream. And I basically did the same painting 4 times using 4 different types of gouache, so that I could see how they compared, and also like try to better describe what it was that I was struggling with the Sennelier. I feel like the main things were the muted colors, like the muted palette, and it's not the palette that's muted, because it's not like the colors themselves. I can't explain it. There are yellows. Like I use limited palettes for all my art. It's not like I'm always using opera, or always using the super bright saturated colors. So I'm using the same palette, but for me this looks a lot more muted. So it was nice to kind of explore that and see and remind myself that I loved painting with the Daniel Smith and the Shinhan. Even the Winsor & Newton, which was rock hard dry, which I don't normally like using, was more enjoyable than the Sennelier, that I felt just had a bit more of a drag, was a bit drier, and then I didn't like the way that it dried in terms of like the colors. Then, so that's what I've done so far in that book, but I just wanted to quickly show you some of the other artwork that I did this month. Not all of it, but just some of it. This is the painting that I the paintings that I did using the Roman Schmoll Essentials palette. So this is again a live stream, and I just this one was fun because there were no colors in the reference, and so I had to put my own colors in it. So it was quite an interesting exercise. I don't know if I picked the best colors, but I like the paintings. And then this one did have colors, and I just really enjoyed. This one was like 20 minutes. Like this one was so much quicker than this one, and yet I kind of like that there's like a looseness and a freeness that is in this one. But yeah, that was all to kind of highlight the Essentials palette, which is currently one of my favorites. And then this is the painting of, I feel like my camera is slightly wonky, so you'll have to forgive me, but this is the painting of St. Paul's that I did in the Jackson's plein air day. And I started this one, did one layer, and it was so cold that like 20 minutes in, it still hadn't dried. So at that point I gave up on the first layer that was very, very faint, because didn't really have much in it, and I didn't really think about the fact that it was freezing cold, so it was going to take forever to dry. So my first layer was very much a laissez-faire layer. So because it was taking forever to dry, I switched to gouache. And with this one, gouache is a lot more forgiving, and also I kind of worked primarily in, I think, just 2 layers for this one, rather than building up and lots of layers like I normally do. And with this one, it's funny because I lost the feeling in my fingers, so I had to like really look at the paper to see if my brush was touching it. Can you imagine? But I really enjoyed this painting. I'll show you. What I enjoy in this one is like all the little details that I did, although yes, I couldn't feel my fingers. I feel like, I don't know, there was something about it that I really liked. I also liked the like shadows and the puddle and things that maybe won't necessarily make that much sense to anyone else apart from me, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And then the other painting that I did, the final painting that I did during that time, was this one. And this is of a skate rink in, there we go, a skate rink by, where were we? South Bank. And I really enjoyed like doing the graffiti details here. Like I did it, it took so long, but it was so satisfying to do. So those are the paintings and the artwork that I have been creating this past month. Oh yeah, after I did the skate rink, I went back and actually finished this watercolor. But yeah, these are the paintings and the art that I've been creating this past month. This is a recap of everything that has happened and a highlight of everything that is to come. If you would like to join, I have left my membership linked down below. If you are already a member, thank you so much, and I hope that you are going to enjoy everything that is coming up this month. So yeah, sorry for the random impromptu live stream. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that it's a nice accompaniment to the very long newsletter that I did, that I enjoy doing, because it's just fun. It's fun to chat with you, and it's also been really fun to see your responses. I will go back and reply to all of them, because it's nice. It's been nice to see how you've been finding the month and what you're inspired by and what you're looking forward to, and also all the art that you've been creating and been enjoying. So I will leave you and I will hopefully be back in a little while, a few minutes. But thank you all so much for being here, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye.